On the same day that I got this quote, I also got the braces installed. I did everything in one day, and I think it only took about an hour or two at max, 2 hours at max. So he installed my braces, and afterwards, he told me that I have two options. I could either stay in Colombia and get them retightened every 2 weeks for the next 2 months, or I could go to the States and find a dentist who would be willing to retighten my braces. Let me check and see if the is recording. It's not recording. All right. Hey y'all, I'm Kimberly PP and welcome to my channel. Welcome to this video. I'm really excited to be sharing with you how I was able to get braces installed in Cartagena, Colombia for only $70 US. Yes, $70 US. So I want to ask you to please subscribe to my channel if you are interested in travel, learning about more travel gems, and just the behind the scenes of my life abroad. I plan on putting more videos about my experiences abroad, so please subscribe if you don't want to miss all that stuff that I have to share. So before I get into this video, let me tell you all a little bit about myself. So I'm an experience curator and I'm also a mentor for global-minded people. I also organize transformational trips to help people expand their mind, expand their life, and expand their perspective of the world. So I'm just gonna give you all the scoop that I'm currently working on a trip called Haitians in Mexico. This is a trip where Haitians and Haitians by association are gonna come together and learn from Haitian professionals who are already established in Mexico. For this trip, we have city tours planned, as well as workshops so that our guests can gain some clarity on whether or not life abroad is really for them or life in another country. Because there are a lot of Haitians who are already abroad. I really wanted other people in my community to explore other countries or Mexico as another land of freedom and opportunity. We've been sold that the US and Canada is a land where, all is possible. But I would like for our community to explore the possibilities in Mexico as well. With that being said, that's a little bit about me. Now I'm going to get into the details of how I got braces in Colombia for only $70. First things first, you don't need insurance to get braces in Colombia. You don't need health insurance, dental insurance. I don't know if some insurance covers like dental work overseas. I went without any insurance. I showed up to my dentist. He gave me a quote and I moved forward with the procedure. All right, so this was 2 years ago, 2023. I went to Colombia to get a quote for dental work after I found out about dental tourism. I had always wanted to get the bottom row of my teeth straightened. I had a gap in the middle of my teeth and I wanted to get it straightened ever since I was in high school, but the cost of dental work in the States was just way too much and didn't fit in my family's budget. As soon as I was old enough to fly out to another country and get dental work done, I got quotes in different countries. I got quoted in Turkey as well as Colombia, and I find that in Colombia it was way cheaper. And I found a dentist, and I found that Dr. Martinez, my dentist, was really honest about what he needed to do. And also his thing is that he charges locals as well as tourists the same price, which is a blessing. So I went forward with him. I went without any insurance. I showed up to Cartagena, Colombia after I had read this blog from the mom trotter, I think her name is on Instagram. She's big. She had written a blog about how she went to Colombia and she had gotten her whole family's dental work done for a really cheap price. So I decided to look into it. She left her dentist, which became my dentist. She left the contact details, and I'm also going to share the contact details too so that you can reach out to that dentist in Cartagena, Colombia. He did a really good job with my teeth, and so I'm going to share his contact with you all. So after finding out about dental tourism, and I had a dentist that I could go to, after reading that blog, I decided to book a ticket to Cartagena and book an Airbnb so that I could get a quote and plan from there. You would have to reach out to him to see if you can get a quote from where you are. But, you know, in my case, he needed to be able to do an x-ray and all the things before he could give me a quote. On the same day that I got this quote, I also got the braces installed. I did everything in one day. And I think it only took about an hour or two at max, 2 hours at max. So he installed my braces, and afterwards, you know, he told me that I have two options. I could either stay in Colombia and get them retightened every 2 weeks for the next 2 months, or I could go to the States and find a dentist who would be willing to retighten my braces. I thought 2 months wasn't too long, so I decided to stay. Y'all, I ended up staying in Colombia way longer than the procedure. Like, I stayed a total of 9 months in Colombia. Yeah. Also, to retighten my braces every 2 weeks, it was $14. So I'm mentioning these prices in US dollars, but I was quoted in Colombian pesos. Since the currency fluctuates, I don't want to use Colombian pesos, but you could always look at a price converter to see how much, you know, whatever you're quoted is going to cost in dollars. As my dentist promised, we completed the procedure after 2 months. He installed retainers in my teeth so that the gap wouldn't reopen. These are permanent retainers that I would need to go back to him to remove, unlike the retainers where you're supposed to remove them every time you eat and then put them back on. Most people forget to do that, and he knows that, so he recommended that I had permanent retainers installed. And that was the procedure. So I had a really great time in Colombia. I stayed there, like I said, for 9 months. So I figured I should share some tips about where to stay if you are going to go to Cartagena, Colombia. So I stayed in an area called La Boquilla, which is near the airport and also not too far from the city center where Dr. Martinez is located. There are a handful of really good neighborhoods to stay in that is not too far from Centro and also feels safe. So I would, of course, recommend the city center. It could get noisy, so be sure. Oh, speaking of noise. All right, so I recommend staying in the city center. Some places could be noisy, so be sure to look at the reviews if you're going to stay in a place really close to the dentist's office. There's also, like, maybe I should put a map. There's also a few areas in that perimeter of Cartagena that I would recommend staying in. So while I was in Colombia, I took the opportunity to really prioritize myself, not only my appearance with my teeth, but also my self-care. I got a membership at the Hyatt Health Club so that I could walk in there and use their amenities anytime I wanted to. They have really nice views. They have cafes. With the membership, I was able to get discounts at the restaurants and the hotels. I was able to get like vouchers for massages, plenty of massages actually, and I was able to use their gym. So I did all these things while I was in Colombia. I also got my hair and nails done for really cheap, because why not, you know? Just take the opportunity to really take care of yourself in countries where things are relatively cheap. Compared to the States or Canada. I really made the most out of my dental tourism experience. As I mentioned, I signed up for a health club. I also got tennis lessons because they were super cheap. I was paying like $8 a lesson, whereas in New York, it's like $200 for a tennis lesson. So I took the time to learn how to play tennis. I also spent time in different parts of Colombia. I went to Santa Marta, where I met my mentor, Rotisha's world. She is from Atlanta and she moved to Santa Marta, Colombia, I think about 3 years ago. She owns several businesses there. Like she has a restaurant, she has a kids play center. She also works in real estate within Santa Marta, Colombia. She also helps with digital nomad visas. So if you're interested in relocating or testing the waters in Colombia, she is the person that you want to reach out to. I do not gatekeep because she's doing really great work. She's a really good person to me, and I want to make sure that whoever's interested in Colombia knows that she's there and she's doing the thing. I want to mention that I also met some not so good people, some crappy people in Colombia. Many locals were warning me about other locals in Colombia. So I just want to mention this so that you know to keep your distance to a certain extent. Definitely pray for discernment when it comes to dealing with people anywhere abroad, really. Anywhere abroad, you'll meet some not so good people or people who literally make a living out of scamming tourists, scamming foreigners. I want to mention that I also did make some great connections with some locals. So you really have to pray for discernment so that you don't miss out on a good connection in Colombia. Yeah, so with that being said, I'm going to close out this video. Thank you so much for staying and listening to my story. I hope this helps you and inspires you to go and travel to Colombia. If you're interested in what I've got going on, be sure to check the description where I'm going to leave my socials. Be sure to look at my other videos on the socials. Please share this video with someone you think who would be inspired to go to Colombia and get dental work done. Share it, let them know what's possible in another country. I look forward to having y'all in another video. Peace.